The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Diane, 9 p.m., October 20th. Re-entering the town of Twin Peaks. 5 miles south of the Canadian border, 12 miles west of the state line. I've missed these trees. As Thomas Wolfe would say, you can't go home again. 54 degrees on a slightly overcast day, but now it's dark. The drink tonight is a cherry pie that'll kill you. That's 5 ounces of amaretto, 2 ounces of vodka, 4 ounces cherry juice, and crushed graham crackers for the rim. Damn fine cocktail. If you ever get the mind to, that cherry pie is worth a sip. Okay, looks like I'm meeting up with Stephen Deleted Scenes Otten. Shouldn't be too hard to remember that. We'll be taking a look at the records of that girl that crawled down the railroad tracks off the mountain, and another girl found dead, wrapped in plastic. It's going to be a deep dive, Diane, but the journey should be really something special. Cherry pie to kill you. Damn fine cocktail. Oh, let me tell you. The only difference from what I recorded in my monologue is I do have a couple drunken cherries in here. Because, well, of course I do. And the vodka is specifically cherry infused. So it's really cherry. And before anyone asks, yes, I can tie a cherry stem in a knot with my tongue, but the only one that gets the benefit from that is Ned. She'll tell you. Speaking of Netter,
Troy,
let me bring her in. Hey, Netter, how you doing and what you sipping on?
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, sweetie. My prom queen.
Yes, I'm the prom queen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually two-fisting it. I've got a Waterloo sparkling water black cherry, but then I also have a shot of amaretto.
That amaretto's good, isn't it? I told you.
Did.
Strictly for medicinal purposes.
Yes, because my voice keeps going in and out.
Yeah. You can hear her voice, right? I mean, which is better than, she's been doing for the past week and a half. So I think the amaretto is probably good for her. And I picked that up tonight. You see it right here over my right shoulder. I didn't realize I had a glare on it. D'amore. So, Netter, I hope you feel the love as you take sips from that amaretto.
Yep. But, I also changed my name.
Yes, prom queen. I love that. Oh, Laura Palmer. Well, there you go. Now she's Laura Palmer. There you go.
Because people should know who I am.
And let me tell you something. Cheryl Lee and Cheryl and Fenn, we met both of them at Comic-Con here in Chicago. Great little story. Ladies. We're walking through Comic-Con. We missed the opportunity to meet both of them when we were in Snoqualmie for the Twin Peaks Festival. And it was a real bummer. And Netter said, well, they're going to be here. And I'm like, yeah, but the line's going to be like, out the door. She's like, well, let's see. And we're walking through the main floor. And she's like, there's nobody there. They're just sitting there talking to each other. And I'm like, get out. And I look and sure enough. So I went and I got both of their autographs and I sat and chatted to both of them for like a half hour. And I said to him, I'm like, I'm sorry I missed you because we didn't make it to, the celebration. She's like, well, you're here now. It's great. And it really was. They were both just really, really wonderful. But then we did get to see Cheryl and Fenn at a subsequent instance of the Snoqualmie Fest. So that was pretty cool. I got some pictures of her, some pictures with her, I should say. I was about 100 pounds heavier at the time, but whatever. Anyway, let's bring in my designated driver because I'm probably going to need him really bad. This is actually, I think I'm on my second, maybe third by now. Yeah, I front loaded a little bit. It's been a rough week. Hey, Boomer, how you doing? What you sipping on, my friend?
I got a Coca-Cola Classic. do we have a Cosme link for this stream? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, damn. Yeah, we do. Sorry
Deleted
about
Teens
that.
asked.
Netter, could you drop a comment with the Cosme link, and then I will pin it?
Oh, sure
I
can.
totally forgot. But before I do that, guys, if you get a kick out of seeing me drink on stream and getting really liquored up, you can buy me a drink with the link that's showing right now. If you want to buy me a drink for, not next week, because my drink for next week is already spoken for, but for a subsequent week, you want to keep me in alcohol, I'd certainly appreciate it.
I dropped the link.
Awesome. I guess I got to go to the YouTubes in order to where's the chat? Where's the chat? I lost the chat. Here you go. Netter. Replace pin message. There we go. So there's the Cosme link. Thank you so much, Netter. And where was I? Oh yeah. So what you sipping on, Age of Boomer?
I got a Coca-Cola Classic.
Designated driver. No
I'm a
alcohol.
designated driver tonight. I'll drink at some point on one of these streams. You know, I've done it.
Oh, I'm sure that
I'll
next
get all
week actually
liquored
would be
up.
a good one for you to drink on. That would be a good one.
If I run Twin Peaks, I would be drunken redneck harassing the florist. That would be my character.
Oh, that's fair.
That's what I would want to be.
But speaking of characters, tell us about your icon tonight. Who is that?
Hold on. I'll get his name. I don't know his name.
His real name is fine because he deserves to be remembered. We did an in memoriam of him just last year, didn't we?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't think he shows up in the pilot, does he?
No. Oh, no, because he is first season though. Actually.
He's the gentleman they deliver the meals on wheels to, right?
I can't remember if he's only in first season or if he makes it into second season.
I don't know if he makes it in the second season. I guess I'll have to pick somebody else once he disappears. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm being mean.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I get it. No, so Lenny Von Dolan, who played Harold Smith in Twin Peaks, we'll talk more about his character as he comes up. But he passed away. I think it was just last year. Maybe it was the year before. Time is just going by so fast these days. I can't keep up anymore. I mean, but if you don't know him from Twin Peaks, you probably know him from Electric Dreams. And if you don't know him from Electric Dreams, maybe we need to do a rewatch of that because that's a great movie. But anyway, what is your background and experience with Twin Peaks, Age of Boomer?
Myself, I didn't watch it when it first aired, or at least maybe I caught an episode or two on occasion, but it might have been a little too old for me. Mm-hmm. I think as a Christmas present one year, my sister got the entire VHS set of the series. And this was an interesting VHS set. It wasn't record on SP like most VHSs. It was EP, so they get as many episodes on each tape. And I did watch it front to back. I keep forgetting the pilot was not included. There were rights issues with the pilot for years.
I'm glad you bring that up. That's exactly why we're doing, at least, I didn't plan this out with Steven, but it's kind of why I thought it would be cool for me to do the first episode and then him to do all the rest. Kind of a tip of the hat to the fact that at least in the beginning, there was that rights issue where when you
a lot of people experienced Twin Peaks without the pilot. Yeah.
Yes. If you bought the original VHS, which I do have, by the way, I could have had it ready and showed it on screen. It did not include the pilot episode. If you wanted the pilot episode, you bought it separately, but it was the European cut, which has a closed ending on it. That was part of the licensing problem. And that's also exactly why it wasn't included with the TV series. It wasn't until this DVD set came out that you could get the whole thing. And
first DVD set, the second DVD set.
Ah, yes, good point.
Because the first one where they split in two parts, and you had and I bought the pilot, I think, from Canada. Mm-hmm. Canada, you could buy it from Canada as a standalone thing, or you could buy the American version. because it was available in Canada, but it wasn't available over here even back.
And that's why we're separating, between the two channels, the pilot episode and the rest of the episodes on Deleted Scenes. Also, it was my little way of lighting a fire under his ass. And since we're talking about him, let's get him in here. Deleted Scenes, how are you doing, my friend? And what are you sipping on? Live from Sparkwood and 21. Oh, good.
I am live from the corner of Sparkwood and 21. The temperature is 61 degrees, and it is raining. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening.
What nobody realizes is that's actually a picture of Deleted Scenes with an aging filter on it.
No, I wonder if I wonder what David Lynch's actual weather report for today was. I'm thinking about it.
He actually, I think you might correct me, Stephen, but he stopped doing them, didn't he?
Did he?
I haven't seen one in a long time.
I haven't seen one for a bit, no.
Yeah, he was doing them, and I'll tell you what, the one that broke my heart the most was when Angelo Badalamenti died. And he didn't even mention Angelo Badalamenti, but he gives the weather report. He says, I don't remember what he said, the weather, blah, 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 blah. There will be no music today. And dude, I just started bawling. Yeah. I was just wrecked at that point. I'm like, dude knows how to grab your heart, And maybe that's the great way to pivot. Although we're actually going to be pivoting to saying hi to the chat. Don't think we're not going to say hi to you guys. But start talk about Twin Peaks. It's very Lynchian oddball, right? Very humorous in a lot of ways, but very poignant. You go from, what the heck is this? And then laughing and whatnot. And then all of a sudden you just get this gut punch of emotion. It's like, man knows how to tell a story. Let me go back to the beginning. The first person I'm seeing here is PJ of Orville Nation, who feel like I've been hanging out with you all day, man. Welcome. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here and, just encouraging me. You're great. And then, of course, Deleted Scenes was here so early. He was like an hour early. Dude, what's with you, man? You must be eager for this stream. That's okay. I'm fired up about it, too. I've been looking forward to this all week. Actually, I've been looking forward to this all week. But it's kind of like, it comes off as like a cherry martini. I kind of like it. I'm probably going to forego the graham cracker thing. I'm not real big into the rim thing. I did it for the shtick of tonight, but if I ever do this again, I'll just forego that. This is actually a really good cocktail. Continuum Chronicles. Make sure you're subscribed to Continuum Chronicles. He just dropped another video tonight. Welcome, my friend. It's good to see you. Sparta Chris. Hi. Yep, I will be. Well, I kind of am, actually. Let's see here. Then I guess I'm saying some bullshit here. Netter of Netters Network. I love you too, sweetie.
I hope so.
You are absolutely my prom queen. Lady Mist, who's pulling double duty tonight as hostess and Maître D, since my regular Maître D is here with us in the panel. I really do appreciate you, Lady Mist. Thank you so much. Big Al of Big Al Presents, whose channel we will be on tomorrow. I screwed up last night. Let me make it very clear up front. Tomorrow night, Captain Kronos on Big Al's channel. That's where we'll be. Not on Netter's channel, but Big Al's channel. If you go to Netter's channel and you're waiting for the live stream, you're going to be waiting for a week. You need to come to Big Al's channel. Deleted Scenes. Yeah, again, hi. And Dee Dee Meyer, good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. I so appreciate seeing you here. And then Evelyn Hampton, good evening, everyone. She's sipping on a cranberry juice. That actually sounds really good. Actually, a splash of that and this would actually have been really good. I didn't have any, but yeah, good. Movie time soon. Well, not movie, but yeah, well, kind of. It is an hour and a half pilot episode. It is like a movie. Actually, if you go back, I did how long ago was it, Stephen? A year, 2 years ago, we did the original pilot episode, but the European cut with the ending. That's on here somewhere. Connie Cleary saying hello to everybody. I know she said hello to me too, but I wanted to get to a Dig Outlaw, doctor and author. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. And of course, BJ comes back. Good to see you. Matanui, always a pleasure to have you here. And let's see. I'm trying to be very careful. Don't want to miss anybody if I can avoid it. See you guys all talking to each other. Age Boomer.
Yes.
Good to see you, my friend.
Hello.
I don't know what to say. I'm here in the panel. Okay, I think I've said. Oh no, I didn't mean to miss you, Nate. Good to see you, friend. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's an hour and a half, and we're already 20 minutes into the stream. What the heck? Canada Dry Ginger Ale. You know, if you enjoy that, that's great. Unfortunately, I associate ginger ale with what my mom gave me when I was sick, and that, so I don't enjoy ginger ale anymore.
That would be a good soft drink for the stream with the Canada Dry, since they're so close to the border, right?
Yes. And I'm not sure if we get into it in the pilot episode, but they do have to cross the border at one point.
Yeah.
And we do get into a little bit of state, federal, and international law that we can talk about.
I thought you were going to say SCAMA, State County Municipal Offended Data Systems.
Yeah. Here's the hard thing for me. Okay, so deleted scenes. You have not seen season 3 yet. We won't talk about we will not talk about Judy. No, we will not talk about season 3 until we get to season 3. But it's so hard because rewatching this after seeing season 3, there are things that I want to talk about.
No, don't do it. I will get there eventually. I remember people. I don't want to say for what reason. I'll keep that aside. But I remember people online were getting pissed, and I was enjoying the fact that they were getting angry because I was sort of in on the joke. But
wait, why were they? What were they getting pissed about? No, you know what? We'll save it until we get to season 3.
I'll say it in private to you on Sunday, okay?
Right. That's fine. Yeah,
we'll get there eventually. Why spoil it now, okay?
In fact, honestly, I'm going to try and be careful. And let me say real quick hi to JPRPH1. I'm in the minority of folks who liked season 3. I think no. I think most of the people here that saw it liked it. It'll be interesting to see what Steven says when he sees it. If you get what Twin Peaks is really about, you like season 3. If you're like a normie, yeah, maybe it'll piss you off, but we'll get to that season 3. Let's go ahead and get to season 1. When I was 9 years old, I saw a ghost of a woman dressed all in white with jet black hair, porcelain white skin, and I nearly had a heart attack years later when I saw Sherilyn Fenn. You thought it was the ghost you saw? Because she looks just like the ghost I saw when I was 9 years old. Whew, if that's the ghost I saw, I'd have a very different reaction to that ghost, let me tell you. Tonight's last call made me invade my hidden emergency stash of candy. Oh, specifically what kind of candy are you dipping into there, Admiral? I'd love to know. But while you're typing that out and letting me know, I am going to go ahead and get to playing this because we can talk while the stream plays. So Cosme Link is pinned to the top. If you don't have your own copy right now, I know Deleted Scenes does. I'm guessing probably Aged Boomer does too. But you can go, yeah. See, both of us. Yep. There you go. Oh, nice. You've got the Blu-ray too. Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray too, but it's easier for me to rip a DVD than a Blu-ray. I can do it, but it just it takes up too much bandwidth.
I have
so I don't
my
bother.
voodoo copy, but I'll stick it out with Cosme tonight.
Well, I do have. I did bother to download the subtitles for you in case the volume isn't good for you.
That's
but there we go.
I can always go to my voodoo copy if I need to. Okay.
There you go. So we're on the pilot episode, and if you have like some weird, like you taped it off a TV and it's two separate parts, it might be a bit of a challenge for you. You might have to pause us while you switch over or something, but this just puts the two 1 hour episodes together as one pilot. So going to start from 0, 0, and I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and we're going to hit play. Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. And can I just say, starting right out. Okay. First, that little bird.
Yeah.
The fans have dubbed him Flappy.
What?
And I've not only have all the locations you're going to see here, I've been to. And that actual branch, we found that fucking branch and got a picture of that branch.
You think some fan would go nuts and cut the branch off and take it home with them?
At this point, the tree may not even be there anymore.
No!
Yeah, half the buildings aren't.
Wait a minute. We're coming to the iconic scene. Let me tell you about this. Oh, God, I love this music. I really do. Angelo Badalamenti was a genius. Yeah, and Netter's pointing out all these shots of the sawmill. In real life, this sawmill was actually a paper mill. So what they would do is they'd cut down the trees, pulp them up. That log is now covered over by, okay, right here. That sign, the fans went ahead and paid for a permanent sign to be put there, but it's gone now because the river now comes up to where that sign is. Those electric or the phone lines are moved to the other side because the river has come up so high, and all those trees on the right hand side are gone. It's heartbreaking, my friends. Population 51,201. The Access Guide to Twin Peaks says that's a mistype. It's actually 5,120.1.
Joan Chen.
Yep. Joan Chen, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the very first person you see in this episode.
Yep, and Piper Laurie, rest in peace, right?
Yeah.
That one hurts, my friend. It really does. She was beautiful. Actually, every woman in this movie, absolutely beautiful. And if you don't think so, check them out when they were younger.
Yeah.
Now, before these credits would play, I'm kind of curious. Would you get like the Log Lady intros, or would that come later?
I did not. Those were originally in Canada. So I didn't ever see them until I got the DVD.
Okay.
They were a good idea. And I'm kind of glad that they kind of pushed David Lynch to do that. Kiana Lodge, Netter and I visited there. It's just beautiful. Oh, yes, Joan Chen. First person you see. I love this. This is a great example of framing, right? You get the impression she's in like a bedroom or something like that. She's actually in the conference room against a wall. Husband who really loves his wife, a wife who's completely detached.
And they made that shot look bigger by putting it on the angle.
Yes. I remember the first time I saw this, I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Who's she? What does she have to do with those other two people? When we were there, the sky was exactly like that, overcast. A lonesome foghorn.
We've been to that spot too and reenacted that whole scene.
So that's at high tide, obviously. The water line is actually lower than that, 12 hours out. And that giant log, that's a huge piece of driftwood. That's still there to this day, although people keep taking pieces of it.
Ugh.
Yeah, right? This is meant to be incredibly sad.
So, deleted scenes, how did you first watch this? Was it
I saw it on television first run. I was in high school at the time, and all I really knew of the show was this teaser trailer that kept popping up on ABC, and which it aired on. And if anybody remembers the initial trailer for Lost, it very much resembles how they initially advertised Twin Peaks. It was very cryptic. It didn't really explain anything, so you had no idea what you were walking into.
It's interesting you bring up Lost, because Lost did have, especially at least when it was on, had a very Twin Peaks type following to it.
Did we just say
no, we did not.
Okay.
That was something that I caught. So I did not see this like deleted scenes when it first aired. I caught it on the rerun. And I literally got into the mystery. I sat there from the very first episode. I took friggin' notes. I wanted to see if I could solve the mystery. And I caught that the first time through, that Pete says, she's dead, wrapped in plastic. Well, does the sheriff know who she is? Why would he know that? So the sheriff, in reality, the sheriff's department here is actually directly across the street from the mill. It is actually the office of the mill in real life. Or it was. It's been closed down now. Okay. Now there's a bit of dark humor here. So we got the sheriff's department doing their job, doing the investigation, taking the pictures, right? And you get the impression that this is not the first time they've seen Andy being so soft-hearted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that never gets explained, was it's the same thing as last year in Mr. Blodgett's barn. We never find out what happens.
Since they do kind of cover that they don't have a lot of experience with murder, you get the impression that that was probably an accident. But what it does also establish is Andy's just a very soft-hearted person.
Yeah.
And that is just beautiful, you know? Small town, and the sheriff's going to cover this later on. This is a small town. We don't know about this kind of stuff. We don't have any experience with this. This, one of the major overarching themes is the loss of innocence. So you immediately get, he didn't know who he was going to find.
Nope.
Until this moment. And this is heartbreaking too, because she thinks her daughter's upstairs asleep. So Grace Zabriskie, I never got to meet in person, but she did call in one time. Or someone that was on the panel called in from the celebration, and she was on the phone. She seems like a sweet, sweet woman.
Nice shot of the fan.
That fan, we'll talk about that later on as we get through the series, but there is some symbolism there. There is some allegory. If we ever went back to the celebration, which has ended now, Netter and I were going to do costumes of these two.
And going back to the shot of the ceiling fan for a moment, one thing that you have to understand, especially about season 1, nothing is by accident.
Yeah.
Everything connects together.
Yeah, that ceiling fan actually has a great deal of importance. So Betty Briggs, who was just on the phone there, the boyfriend's mother, played by Charlotte Stewart. Those of you that are fans of Little House on the Prairie, she played the teacher. Mm-hmm. She is absolutely the sweetest person I ever met. That was an actress, celebrity, whatever. Snoqualmie Falls, Salish Lodge. It's actually more like a spa than a hotel, but Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah.
Okay, little story about that really hot sweater that she's wearing. That's her own sweater. That's not like from the costume department. And there's a scene coming up later on, I'll point it out, where in order to get it as tight as possible, they pinned it behind her and stretched it all out. And she was really annoyed about that. I know that Sir Torrin can't be here tonight because he is in a play, The Crucible, tonight.
Wow!
Tonight's their premiere performance. So good luck to him. Break a leg, whatever. But he would appreciate this. So we have Ray Wise and Richard Bamer reunited in this episode, or in this series, I should say, from West Side Story.
And eventually you're going to have to tell me where Ray Wise is in West Side Story, because I've never spotted him.
Okay, fair enough. The gentleman with the beard sitting down who's doing the interpreting into Norwegian, he is speaking actual Norwegian. He is fluent in English and Norwegian. And I actually met him in Snoqualmie, Washington.
Yep, nice guy.
Yeah, wonderful. Huh.
I thought when he was saying cheese eaters, I thought he says, "Are they from Wisconsin?" That's what I thought.
This is, and you know what the call is. This is his daughter they're calling.
Well, it's mom calling him to find out if Thor's there.
Yes, but they're calling about his daughter. Mm-hmm. This is the real interior of the Salish Lodge. It is absolutely beautiful.
This is one of the things I love so much about the series. Is it's a town that feels lived in. It's not CG. Yes.
Lynch knew what he was doing when he did this.
Yeah.
And this is great because you see the sheriff's car pull up behind them. You see him come in. A lot happens here just by looks and silences, even without dialogue.
And without him saying a word, she knows something's happened.
He takes off his hat. And Grace Sarah on the phone. And listen to the music as it transitions into Laura's theme. She knows. And his boss, like, what's wrong? Mm. Mm. See, at this point, this scene, this is what captured the hearts of just about everyone who watched it. They were going to watch the entire series to find out what happened. They were hooked. And it was Grace's performance here that did it. Now, if you watch this on television, you got a commercial break here, and you got to, whew. Double R Diner. We've eaten there many times. Netta and I actually had an opportunity to have lunch with her. That joke has not aged really well. That's for sure. So Shelley Johnson, played by Madchen Amik. Yeah, Netta and I got to have lunch. We actually escorted her around a convention. She was promoting the movie Sleepwalkers. Real sweet girl, but kind of a ditz. Gosh.
Oh, behave.
I do like that, the way the music is, you can still hear it, outside.
There's always music in the air.
That's right. Nah, she's already seeing somebody. So this is the whole soap opera element of it, right? You start to realize there's different people dating different people,
Yeah, everybody in this town is, can we say it?
Sleeping with somebody? Yeah.
They're horny.
Yeah. Yeah. So Norma Jennings, who runs the diner, played by Peggy Lipton. We lost her a few years back.
Nice looking lady.
A pocket rocket.
Hello.
Are you sure your old man is still on the road? Welcome, Spartacus. Back up. See,
So
she's cheating on her husband. And this is why he's not in school, because he's seeing
cheating on with
his side girl. Yeah. Those of you who haven't seen this before, Bobby here is Laura's boyfriend.
Right.
And he's a dog.
Yeah, he is. Kind of literally. We'll get to that towards the end of the episode. So Doc Hayward, he's the doctor of the town. He delivered Laura when she was a baby. I gotta say, Ray Wise plays this role phenomenally well. Officially has to identify the body, right? So the funny thing is that Cheryl Lee was cast literally to play a dead body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a few, flashback scenes. But what a waste, right? So we'll get to that later on. She ends up coming back playing another character. Because she's just too good to waste them.
Laura Flynn Boyle.
Yep. Laura Flynn Boyle as Donna. Little shot for the feet fetishists.
Like the shoes.
Those patent leather shoes. Those patent leather shoes made a lot of foot fetishists exist.
And the thing is, this guy is so sweet.
He really is. Now, this is another one. I never got to meet him, but it's James Marshall, who plays James Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
He had a very tragic medical situation that pretty much ended his career, which prevented him from being able to come to any of the conventions, which is really sad.
Too bad.
Really? That's too bad.
So, Troy, do you own the soundtrack to this series?
Yep. As well as the Into the Night, the album by Julie Cruz, music by Angelo Badalamenti, which isn't really a soundtrack, but it's complimentary.
Yeah. All the 80s hair.
Here. Yo.
No. You want room 237. It's upstairs.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that gets me. Why is he telling her what's going on?
Because he knows she's going to have to let the class know.
They already know.
Now, notice the way that James Hurley responds here. He knows something's wrong. And he and Donna both look and see Laura's seat empty. They look at each other, and they both start, yeah. They know something's wrong. Great foreshadowing, and it lets you know there's a lot more story here than you even realize. Smarter Chris makes a great point. He says there's an interesting mix of 50s and 80s going on in the show. Yes, it is meant to be timeless. So you have James Hurley, who comes off as a very James Dean kind of character, right?
Got the leather
you got the patent leather shoes, the whole bit.
Haircut, though, would be 80s, though, maybe. Alternative.
Yeah,
80s,
no.
maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely set in the 80s, but it's
Yes.
got a very timeless quality to it.
Well, another thing, too, people forget that back in the 80s, styles would vary depending on the part of the country you were living in, too, right?
Look, when I was in grade school, we had these sock hops that got me real into the whole 50s aesthetic. Mm-hmm. By the time I got into high school, I was wearing like a DA in my hair because I had hair at the time.
And hello, Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. But you can make it. We're about 24 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Yeah. This makes me think of my cousin Vinny. You know, I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
Defendant Gambini, I shot the clerk.
He's the kind of guy that, like, the principal would look and say, "Oh, he's got to be the kid. He looks like a criminal." Of course, he's also the star quarterback, though, right?
He is the star quarterback.
So he's got immunity there. The principal wouldn't go after him. Ooh,
but
well, now.
well, he's a bit of a hood. And you are supposed to kind of wonder, you know, did he have something to do with it?
This literally is a situation where everybody is a suspect.
Oh, absolutely. And the more you find out about who Laura Palmer is and what she was up to, you start thinking more and more, yeah, it could be anybody. But let me tell you, when you do find out who it is, it breaks your heart. I've actually walked the halls of that high school. I mean, really, in real life.
Troy Evans. He's just in this episode, but damn, he crushes it.
Yep. Again, Laura Palmer's theme playing. I love that, right? That's the last time you see this character. But boy, does he make an impact. He lets you know the impact that Laura had on so many people. You don't even understand how set these characters are until you start to get into the season. You understand what their relationship with Laura was. Man. Obviously inconsolable, right? Give her a shot to calm her down. And you notice all the pictures of her around. You know, you realize how central she was to her parents. So Doc Hayward, good friend of the family. Doctor wouldn't need to be there otherwise. Those stairs, they had a ceiling fan going at the top of them. So, at the risk of a possible spoiler, I get the feeling that there are different characters that are a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more aware of things going on than others.
Right.
And I definitely feel that Sarah's one. She's keyed into spiritual things, symbolic things, archetypal things, and it has an impact on her.
Now, there was a picture behind her. Was that her when she was younger?
No, that was Laura.
Okay, different hairstyle.
It was a different picture of Laura, like when she wasn't prom queen. Yeah, that one right behind her now. Yeah, that's Cheryl Lee. And all the pictures, a lot of people thought that maybe Cheryl Lee used an actual picture of herself from high school. No, these were all staged pictures, as you would do for a TV show. I don't know if that one behind her may have been one of her headshots that she had in her file or whatever, but I like that too. That little head nod to Andy. Andy goes and does. It tells a lot of story there. They've got a lot of history. They don't need to say anything. He knows what his boss is telling.
There are a number of characters that do that. They all have this kind of shorthand with each other that lends to the illusion, I guess.
That's one of the great things about David Lynch. He tells story. He tells so much more story in just a look and a glance.
You believe that all of these people have lived together in this town their entire lives.
Right? Exactly.
And here we get the news that Laura is not the only one that went missing.
Some other just great shots from the sawmill. Real quick, I want to say hi to I saw some Zombie Box Reviews. Hi, we're going to be sitting down with you on Netters Network real soon. Lester San Jose, good to see you. You just got home, and if I've missed anyone, I'm sorry, but I'm flipping drunk right now. So I'm doing my best to follow the movie and, keep an eye on the chat.
We have Big Al Presents in the chat. I am going to be joining him and Soundtracks with Birdman next Friday at 7:30 for a Films with Friends. And we're going to be watching The Witch with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh.
There you go. So, in case it wasn't clear, the sawmill, which employs many of the people in the town, it's owned by Josie Packard, right? Because her husband died, left it. She becomes the sole proprietor. I'm drawing a blank here. Pete Martell is married to
Catherine, who is Andrew's sister.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I'm getting a little fuzzy, so I'm having a hard time with names here. Of course, Piper Laurie, we just lost last week. We talked about her last week on...
Of course. She's not going to remember this guy 5 minutes from now, so he's probably just like...
Yeah.
That's just them establishing she's a bitch,
Yeah. But like I said, she's not going to remember him 5 minutes from now.
Nope.
So he's not really fired.
No.
Yeah, right. He could show up tomorrow and no one will even know the difference.
And even if he were to say something, you get the idea that Pete would probably just say, "Don't listen to that shit, man. You have to come back to work tomorrow."
Right. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So Netter and I both stood on that bridge.
Yep, in that spot.
In fact, it's funny, when we got there, there was a great deal of, and that little switch is still there.
That's Ronette.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So Phoebe Augustine, we met her too. She is so sweet. She's so confused by why people would even care about her. She's like, I did this little role in this show. Why do you even remember me? But thank you for having me here.
The Fremen contingent.
That's where you went. I went to Heartbreak Ridge, but good on you. So Everett McGill, who plays Big Ed of Big Ed's Gas Farm. By the way, in real life, this was not a gas station. This was just a bait a bait store that they put these mock-ups in front of, and that house was actually there.
Huh. Oh. Yikes.
This dear.
So,
and as the word of Laura's death, slowly makes its way through this town. We get to meet everybody, and of course, here's the man himself.
Yeah,
is this the halfway point in the pilot now? Because I'm wondering if this was split into two parts. If this would be the second episode, starting out with Dale Cooper.
No. We're still in the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure. Is this Steven? Is this partially squeezed, or is this Dance of the Dream Man?
Dance of the Dream Man.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Because this segment I played when we had Katie
right
on, and I got hit with a copyright strike for this. Damn good food.
You know what? A good tuna salad sandwich. I had one last night. I made it myself. It's
on
nothing
toast.
Like of course, on toast.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be on toast.
My man.
I don't like it on a bun though.
He's
It's not the same.
because he knows I don't like toast. Well,
no. I mean,
lightly
I'm just pointing
toasted.
out to you, Netter, that normal people take it on toast.
Okay, honey.
You like to warm your bread. That's
in Netter's defense.
Normal.
Well, that's true.
In Netter's defense, I do like lightly toasted, just a little bit.
Thank you.
Lightly toasted. No. Lightly toasted actually has some texture. The way she lightly toasts it is just warming the bread.
All right, now
only when you make me.
Go ahead.
Only when I make her. Yes.
Now, Cooper, in a sense, is the audience character because, as he learns about the people of the town.
Hold here, Stephen, because this conversation is important. I love this establishment of their rapport.
Mm-hmm.
When the Bureau gets called in, the Bureau's in charge. This establishes they are going to be simpatico. They want to work together. And then this establishes that childlike wonder that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And then back into business.
Sometimes you have a wonder when you're visiting a place you've never been to before, right? United States is a big country. You may go your whole life without seeing some of these states,
Right.
Because
I'm guessing, Age of Boomer, you've watched that video that you shared with us, the playthrough of that video?
A little bit, yeah, not the whole thing, but I watched this
because
part.
All of this is in that. I actually played the game. Well, the demo.
Oh, you have played the demo.
Oh yeah, I downloaded it and played it.
It was neat. It's done in the style of a late '90s PlayStation 1 survival horror game. That's how they were doing it.
Which I think she raped several times.
Which I actually think would be a good fit for Twin Peaks to make it like a survival horror game.
Yeah,
but investigating, finding clues, and puzzles and whatnot. Yeah,
there's parts of the show that, in my opinion, very much go into the horror realm.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
She doesn't know where she is or if she is. I would like to examine her fingers, establishing that he knows more than we do about this case. It's not what he's looking for.
Have you ever thought about doing recorded messages on tapes and sending them to a friend or something? I guess that
I have, but these days with the internet, you don't need
no point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a very different time, right?
Yeah, the latest show I've seen that on was Tokyo Vice, where the reporter's sister from the United States kept sending him tapes to listen to about her, telling him what's going on back home, but while he's in Tokyo. That show takes place in the 90s, so it's different.
Oh, Dr. Jacoby.
Here we go.
Those of you that are Fringe fans, Dr. Jacoby has some Easter eggs in Fringe.
And hello to Brett Cohen. And yes, this is a full watch along. We are doing the entire pilot tonight.
Yes, click the link above. You can jump in right where we're at. Gary Cooper. So, Stephen, any thoughts about the corks in his ears?
I'm sure that got explained. I don't recall right at the moment.
It didn't get explicitly explained. I think it's one of those things where we just need to come up with our own theory.
You know, all I know is he's supposed to be the town psychiatrist, basically, and he's nuttier than a freaking fruit bat.
Absolutely, and he's really into Hawaiian things, and he was the deceased analyst she was seeing.
Well, nothing wrong with being in Hawaii, right?
True.
Maybe he'll retire there when he's.
So again, nothing is. Everything is intentional. For example, the lights flickering. That's going to be a recurring theme, not only throughout this series, but especially in the movie Fire Walk with Me. So again, the focus on the fingers. He's looking for something specific. Brett Cohen, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, I think we already said, yeah, this is a full watch along. So if you want to click on the link, the Cosme link above, maybe right click so you can, hear what we're saying.
Fingernails.
Yeah.
Stephen, you have the audio tapes, right?
I do. Okay.
So, Kyle MacLachlan received a Grammy Award because he recorded the all of this that he records, on his audio, plus everything that he would have recorded in between that we don't actually see in the show, came out on an audio tape, and he received a Grammy Award for it.
Neat.
And if this is a popular series on Deleted Scenes channel, we'll maybe cover that. Big Ed's gas farm.
Now, apologies. I don't know why I'm forgetting. What state is this in?
Washington State.
Okay, I thought so. I thought it was either Washington or Oregon.
Specifically, two different towns: Snoqualmie and North Bend.
Okay.
Although some of the scenes, especially when we get into the series, are around the LA area, which Netter and I also have seen. We'll talk about that when we get there. You get the impression that Big Ed's just a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe too nice for his own good.
And this also reveals another triangle right here.
Yes. You're on my lot, friend.
I ain't your friend, buddy. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, guy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
She's nuts.
Yeah, and when you get into her history, you kind of understand why she is and why he stays with her too. You get the distinct impression that Ed really cares about, well, everybody, really.
I guess that's why he's wearing flannel. It's Washington, right?
Well, yes, that is part of it, right? Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
What are you doing?
I screwed up. My apologies.
What'd you screw up on?
I screwed up on the Cosme link. I don't know what I did.
This isn't Star Wars.
Where is it?
Bring it back.
I'm trying.
Fix it.
I'm trying, dude. I'm drunk. Give me a break.
Oh my goodness.
Let me know if you need a timestamp.
Yeah, give me a timestamp. Where were we?
We're at the beginning again.
47:05.
No, we weren't here yet.
47.
Okay, too far back.
47:10. 47:11.
We are at the gas station.
47:12. Dale is it?
No. I went too far. Hold on.
Went too far.
Wait.
There's Dr. There we go. Leave it here.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave it here. Right. We're going to watch it right from this point.
Meet me at the Roadhouse. That's significant.
That's fine. We're at 4.
Here we go.
Now your movie's up for my movie.
43:36. Okay.
It's supposed to be 47:36.
Yeah, well, we're at 43 again. We're at the gas station.
I'm in no condition to try and get it any closer.
They're having the fight again at the gas station. Is he wearing a Letterman's jacket?
Yes, he is.
Yes. So he's the preppy guy. Right?
Kinda, yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, both me and Bob are on sports teams, so, they're popular, but they got some stuff going on outside.
Drapes to hang themselves.
So, Nadine, you notice she has an eye patch.
Yeah.
And Ed is directly responsible for that. And that's part of why he stays with her, because he feels responsible for her.
It's very wet in Washington.
It does rain a lot. I will say that.
I like it, though. I was out there for a bit. I'm granted, I don't know how much I would love like the winter. I wasn't there for that, but. Of course, I guess Florida summer is everybody else's winter because summers are becoming intolerable down here.
Good point. So, you notice the way these two, they've just met and they're clicking. They work together so well.
Well, there are Holmes and Watson for the show.
Yes! That's a great example, yes.
I thought they were waiting for the key.
Screw the key, just broke it open.
Be funny without the key, like if like an ink bomb blew up and it's on all the pages.
So what's very important is the missing pages in this diary. They are literally missing in the printed copy of Laura's diary.
Boo.
Yeah, but
Hmm?
This isn't the actual diary, though. This is kind of like
no, you're absolutely right. But those missing pages do come up in the third season. One of them actually does show up in the span of the episodes.
Huh. That's intriguing.
Listen very closely here. It'll test positive for cocaine. That's impossible.
Troy, can we get the subtitles back on the Cosme?
Sorry. Yes. Good point. Diane, I'm holding a small box of chocolate bunnies. I remember making notes about everything, and I wrote a note about chocolate bunnies.
Chocolate bunnies. What does it mean?
No, it means nothing at all.
Nothing. And we have found the scene of the crime.
I'm just realizing something. So Andy is so upset because he found the scene of the crime.
And he says, "Don't
tell him I didn't cry, right?" But he's crying. That says a lot because he has figured out what's gone on. He knows, like a profiler, what happened here. And it's affected him emotionally. I think if there's a character that I relate to the most, is probably Andy. I'd like to think so.
Dude,
Go ahead, Boomer.
I'm just saying, I think he needs to be made of a little sterner stuff. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I think as this show goes along, you respect the hell out of him for his heart. If I sang songs?
It's funny. Whenever there's been a murder, no one had anything to do with it.
Right. I asked the questions, you answered them.
It's from a movie I like when he says, "It's a funny thing, whenever there's been a murder, no one ever had anything to do with it." It's
right. Now you got to watch this really close. Did you shoot this video, Bobby? If you didn't, then who did? You're right. Very Sherlock Holmes. You're right. What are you charging me for? You're a football player. And I apologize. I really have memorized this entire episode, so I literally could recite it. Because I'm asking you. Watch him. Watch him.
He's looking in her eye.
Yep. No.
Why not? You're stepping out on her.
Yup. Oh, spot on, girl. I love that he didn't do it, you know? He already knows. He's just trying to get the details.
She is such a brat.
No.
She is starved for attention. I hate to say this, but looking back, I understand her character way better than probably most. Consider why she is the way she is. Her brother and everything.
And then she moves the cup over the papers.
Yep.
Idiot.
Yeah, no, it is dumb. Instead of plugging the hole, she lets it keep making a mess. But she's kind of panicking a little bit. So this is the scene I was talking about earlier where the sweater is like pinned behind her back to make it tight. You'll notice in the very front row is the dude with the beard that I mentioned earlier. We actually had lunch in this room.
Yep.
And where she's standing right now, that's where Josie Packard was earlier looking in the mirror. Just, a little trivia for y'all. Excuse me there. Young, pretty girl. Completely naked. She'd been murdered. I'm sure you get what's going on here. She's just attention seeking.
Wait, what? Oh, man.
And sabotaging daddy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I really don't want to know.
How does he know about a biker? If you haven't seen this before, foreshadow. Lucy's like, I'm not paying attention.
No, she's just typing what they're saying.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You would too. Very clear disconnect of Bobby and his parents. Steven, that'll kind of be rectified in season 3. Listen, she's gonna make up a story here. I'll tell you, I get emotional every time I hear Laura's theme.
Mm-hmm.
this does shed a lot of light on some of the stuff we see in Fire Walk with Me. We'll get to that. Again, you get the impression that Donna knows way more than she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. I love that.
Huh.
Watch this. Looks like a hog to me.
And bless my soul, there it is.
Yep.
Mountains.
Let me tell you, we were there. And now there's like an outlook with a fenced off area and whatnot.
Okay.
But it really is beautiful. So look at this. She's all excited. She thinks it's so funny that they're leaving now. So, just a little bit of a spoiler. She really is kind of starved for Daddy's attention. And that's why she is acting out the way she is. So now an investigation of the site of the murder. Yeah. The Norwegians are leaving. The Norwegians are leaving. Yeah. Fire Walk with Me. So half a heart. That's a pendant broken in half. You get that. So I see, landscape scenes like this, and it's like, man, we were there. That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Florida's very flat.
And it's below sea level.
And parts of it are, yeah. Maybe the whole thing. I don't know.
This is beautiful. You can feel the mist on your face when you're standing where that shot was taken. This one I had a real hard time with because I really associated it with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So we can probably get into a little bit more about Johnny later, but this apparently autistic, you get from this scene, right? Laura used to come and work with him and try to help him and whatnot. And when you're autistic, you associate with schedules, right? And when Laura doesn't show up, it throws everything off and it throws him into complete cognitive dissonance.
Now I remember that actually being a humorous line and walking with the deer's head on the table, and it's like, yeah, it fell down.
Yeah, exactly. It's an unnecessary detail, but it's great.
And of course, you see the two wires sticking up behind him. Of course, it wasn't going to stay up there like that.
Right, exactly. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, back then it was. Now,
and this is him, kind of going back to that previous scene. We're going to learn a little bit about Laura Palmer here. Ronette Pulaski in Flesh World Magazine.
There's the truck.
Yep.
It's a nice truck.
This is interesting.
And he's a total ass.
Yes, he is.
I don't know why she doesn't just leave him.
Because she's afraid. No, you don't. You smoke these. He's a very jealous man. Big Ed's gas farm.
I'd have to smother him in his sleep.
See, but that's the thing. She is just too afraid.
You'd have to try poison. You'd have to try poisoning.
I'd have to smother him in his sleep with a sledgehammer.
Okay, I'm with you there.
I have 4 in the garage.
So even Ed is stepping out on his wife. Gosh. Anyone here remember those old phones? Those landline phones?
Yeah. What do you mean landline phones?
As opposed to cell phones.
We still have a landline phone in my house.
We don't.
My mom is old-fashioned in that respect, I guess. It's one of those wireless ones.
So he is so enraptured by the, minor natural details of the town.
And then,
did you catch that? One of the most beautiful women in the state. What does that tell you, folks?
I don't know.
And here's where you get all the background on these characters.
I see.
So right here, you get everything that I told you about these 3 characters. Here's the mayor.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Margaret R. Lanterman.
Kind of reminds me of our current president.
You like that bow tie?
Yeah.
Bow ties are
Bow
cool.
ties are cool. That's right. This is the background. He comes off as a real Boy Scout, right?
Mhm. Creepy.
You know what intersection that is?
Yes, sir.
Great transition. Great transition.
Interior, Hayward home, living room, night.
I love the fact that they decided to put Eileen in a wheelchair. And there's backstory for that you find out later. Actually, I don't know if you find out in the course of the series or from one of the books. Keep in mind, this is the pilot episode, so there are a lot of hooks that have payoffs later. Okay. So they found half the locket. The killer may have the other half. That puts her into action. Or the full flower. She's a poet. And she's not wrong about him being a bonehead. And let me just say that Mike Nelson may be a jerk, but the actor who plays him, Gary Hertzberg, probably one of my favorite actors in the show. Had a great interaction with him. He's just awesome.
And she makes her an awesome little sister.
Yeah. She does her best to cover for it. She's a wackadoo.
Why?
She's a writer.
She likes poetry. What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
It's the brain trust here.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
So the way Mike is wearing his hair, that's kind of the way I wore my hair in high school. Although I was darker haired than he is. Well, we're all pretty broken up about it. Oh, here we go. The best laid plans of mice and men.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you're a little public with that drinking, dude.
You haven't been drinking, have you? Well, we're all a little bit broken up. Where's your sister?
What sister? I know what I don't know any sister. What about the sister business?
Harriet? See that window?
Oh, come on.
Screwed. She's screwed. Well, I mean, what is she going to say? Right?
Consarn it, I have been hornswoggled.
What's that supposed to mean?
Roadhouse.
Oh, I think of Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze.
Right.
That should take place in the Twin Peaks universe. That should be.
And as far as Roadhouse goes, Netta and I have visited the exterior and the interior. They are two different places.
Every 5 minutes, someone's trying to beat Patrick Swayze up in that movie.
Well, it's funny you say that because a fight's about to break out. It would be helpful if Patrick Swayze and his team were there.
Yeah, see, he wasn't there to stop it. Was it Jack Dalton? Was that his name?
Yeah. I love the fact that Cooper is just like a step ahead of everything. And rest in peace, Julie Cruz. I don't know how to feel about how you went out, but God bless you. Our DIVORCE. So they're both married to other people, but they're in love.
And her husband's in jail.
Her husband's in jail, and he feels obligated to take care of his wife. It's a little bit tragic. Speaking of tragic. Fall. I'll bite again. Where a yellow light still means slow down, not speed up. So Netta and I have actually had a meal there at the Roadhouse.
Any good?
Yeah. I had as I recall, it was a buffalo chicken salad, and it was really good.
I feel like you'd have a burger in this place. Right?
This interior is not the same as the exterior. It's obviously a different place. This is actually a set.
That's the
sorry to
magic
pull
of,
everybody out all the time, but
It's
you know,
real. You take that back.
that's the magic of television, right? Okay.
Yeah. Every single one of these extras that has a line lends so much to the story. You never see them again, but it really enriches the story.
My neighborhood, you leave a bike out unchained like that, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah. But I love that. Did you catch that? He's inclined to just see how it goes, but he listens to Cooper and he calls in 2 units of backup and let Doc Haywood know his daughter's okay. We found her. So 2 albums I recommend to you if you like the music you're hearing: the soundtrack from Twin Peaks and Into the Night by Julie Cruz. And the fight starts. Don't worry, I'll take you to James. Again, this character you don't ever see again, but
I think you see him one more time a little bit later on, but that's
you
it.
might be right. You might be right.
Meanwhile,
Eat them up.
You guys ever deleted scenes, AJ Boomer? Ever rode a motorcycle before?
No.
yes.
Really? It's an experience. You should try it sometime.
Okay.
You're riding along, wind in your hair.
That's the key. You got that wind in your face, you feel like you're going a lot faster than you are.
Then you ride straight into that fence.
Uh,
Didn't know you were in your own yard, did you?
So, Netter and I have taken a tour to visit just about every site that is filmed in the series and Fire Walk with Me. Some of these scenes are very hard to determine exactly where they are because it's so dark. So these lines here, things that she allowed herself to get pulled into, if you want the details, you got to check out Laura Palmer's Secret Diary. I love the way this is very multi-platform story. And maybe if people really enjoy this series that we're going to be doing on Deleted Scenes channel, we'll get into things like Laura Palmer's Secret Diary and the authorized biography of Dale Cooper and his tapes and so forth. There's a great deal of background story that's filled by the so-called expanded universe.
There's expanded universe.
It's different than like Star Trek or Star Wars.
Does the straight story tie into this? I'm just saying.
It does. It's so tied in that you can consider it canon. It's definitely implied. It's almost like they created these books and audio files and whatnot to kind of say, in case you missed it, here's the story you missed. See, this is the funny thing. James was the secret lover or whatever. He really cared about Laura. Whereas Bobby
couldn't care less.
He used her. And now Donna and James are feeling guilty because they're falling for each other. Because they're both feeling vulnerable. And that's kind of tragic. I like that. He says, I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm not sorry. There's a certain tragedy here too, because they're bonding over their grief over Laura. There's no payoff to what happens here. We don't know where their story ends up going, but I can't imagine it goes anywhere good. Catch that? She overheard, so yeah. You have the other half of that locket, you got to hide it. So there's a bloke at the, thank you. Netter thinks I'm too drunk, so she wants me to start drinking. There's a bloke at the festivals that did the tour for all the shooting sites. So we did get to see where they buried this locket in daylight. I don't know how he knows based on what little you can see here. This town should have been called Horny Peaks. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was very much a tongue-in-cheek nod to the nighttime dramas of the 80s.
Like Falcon Crest?
Yeah.
More specifically, Peyton Place.
Oh, I see.
That's no, you're right. And it was more parody, pastiche. Mm-hmm.
And nobody is allowed to be named with a name starting J.
Right.
The letter J has now been outlawed within the town.
Okay.
Sorry.
I love the fact that, they're going after James, but he's like, I know he didn't do it. He's not the J. That piano music almost reminiscent of the piano song played right at the end of the first Friday the 13th movie, right before Jason jumps out of the water. That's probably a great analogy, Spartacus. It's that it's meant to put you a little bit on edge. So remember, Netter called Bobby a dog earlier.
A
That was
dog.
being polite.
Well, here's where I say it's kind of on the nose. We'll talk more about Deputy Hawk.
I like Deputy Hawk.
I do too. He's one of my favorite characters.
I think he's the most grounded character probably on the show.
Yep.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like some other characters in the show, he is very much in tune with the Force, I guess you can say. He's
Yeah.
I kind of can. He would have been a good samurai or a Jedi or something.
Yeah. Well, I imagine too. From his, maybe they're warriors and whatever tribe he belonged to. But
It's a
yeah.
great way to look at it, Spartacus. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your sister's bicycle? That's what he focuses on. It's hard not to get teary-eyed because Doc Hayward is he's so appreciative of the fact that his daughter is safe, given everything that's happened, right? He wants to give her shit, but it's like,
Donuts.
And when we went to the Twin Peaks Fest, that's what the tables looked like.
Yep, they did that every morning at the Twin Peaks Fest.
If there is a I like the white frosting with sprinkles myself. That's my favorite kind of donut. Did you like that? He had to repeat himself.
Damn, I want a donut now.
Donuts are nice.
Right?
And he laughs.
What's
He's
the
like,
good
"Okay."
rate, by the way?
I don't know. I'll tell you, the Shalish Lodge that is the actual location of the Great Northern, very expensive. We never stayed there.
Whoa.
Netter called him a dog.
I'm putting on the voice modulator now.
Right.
And I will do my Willem Dafoe impression.
Kinda, right?
Yeah.
And here you go again. Another.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Nobody is above being led around by the Johnson. He's here again. Kind of explains why she was disengaged from her husband at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. About this time, 24 hours ago.
and a body washed up in front of your charming little abode. Would you care to explain that, Miss Packard?
Oof. There's the fan again. She's having some visions here. Those of you that have seen the European cut, and there you go. There's the hook for next week.
And if you go back and pause that camera shot of her there leaping from the couch, you might get a clue.
Yep, we'll talk about that next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, on Deleted Scenes channel, we will jump into, what is it? Is it considered episode 2? I guess it is.
Well, let's look that
up. But going forward, we'll be on Deleted Scenes channel. Make sure you're subscribed to him. Links in the description below. Join us on this journey through Twin Peaks. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it before, it's definitely worth the trek. And we'll be your guides. We'll be happy. But yeah, every episode ends with that little electrical discharge sound. And you guys might have noticed that the lights flickering during the autopsy scene. Electricity and, things going haywire. That's a recurring theme, and that's intentional. We'll talk about that as we go forward. So thoughts. Let me ask Netter. You've been with me on this journey for 31 years now.
Yeah.
You okay? You know at this point as much as I do about this show.
Pretty much.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't want to give any spoilers.
No, you got to be careful with the spoilers.
Yeah. But it's a mystery that does eventually get solved.
Sort of.
And as you're watching, and if you're watching this for the first time, the whodunit person isn't who you're expecting it to be.
Yeah, so feel free to try and solve the mystery if you're watching along for the first time, but one little clue that you wouldn't get otherwise, it's kind of heartbreaking when you find out who it is. And
I mean, you can tell that Laura was beloved by so many people.
Yeah.
She took care of the autistic boy. She did the Meals on Wheels. She volunteered a lot for a lot of different things.
I may be giving away too much, but she... I think you already know from this opening episode that she has a darker past than most people realize. She was involved in some things, you see that Flesh World magazine and, possibly some cocaine in the, in the envelope and everything. And you start going, what's going on here? We'll uncover that mystery a little bit more as we go on. But yeah, it becomes very clear very quickly that she was dealing with a great deal of guilt, and so she tried to do very positive things to kind of compensate for it. And when we get to maybe not the end of season 1, but early in season 2, and the mystery is solved, you kind of understand where she's at and why she was feeling the way she was, and
doing things that she was doing.
Your heart just goes out to her. It's yeah, I can't describe it as anything other than a tragedy. You should see it as a dramatic tragedy. There is some humor along the way, but this is going to be a challenging road. I'm hoping you're willing to stick with us. I believe it's worth it. What do you think, Stephen?
Well, it is a ride. It is an e-ticket. It's very much, especially the first season, is very much in vein with a lot of David Lynch's work. And I suspect season 3 will be very much, because he was more heavily involved with seasons 1 and 3.
Yeah,
but
he kind of stepped out on season 2.
He definitely put his stamp. And the thing that you have to also realize about the pilot is that he shot Wild at Heart right after this. He shot those movies back to back.
That's true, he did, yeah.
Which is why in Wild at Heart, some of the same actors show back up. But he is building a world with this. And it is a world that I think includes Blue Velvet, even though he's never really said that explicitly. I think it certainly is in the same world as Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland, David Lynch has specifically said that Mulholland Drive is definitely in the same world as Twin Peaks.
But what I want to say about that, sorry, Troy, what I want to say about Mulholland Drive and specifically the first season is you're going to get a line of dialogue in a later episode. And I will talk about it when we get to it. But there's a specific line of dialogue that if you think of the town of Twin Peaks itself, and the world that Mulholland Drive encompasses,
right,
there's going to be a correlation, and it's really going to drive home this specific line of dialogue that I'm thinking of. And when we get to that episode and we get to that line, I'll explain myself further. But definitely Mulholland Drive is in the same world. I've never seen Inland Empire, so I don't know if that specifically, because I know people who have seen that compare it to Mulholland Drive, but I don't know if David Lynch considers Inland Empire the quote unquote same.
I don't know if he specifically said it, but I do see that at least being thematically related. And I don't know if this series does really well. If you guys really enjoy it, we'll explore some of that stuff for sure. But Nate says I should be in bed right now because I got to go to work early tomorrow. But I love hanging out with all you guys. We super appreciate you being here. And Evelyn says I've been a fan since the pilot first aired on TV. Evelyn, I'd be interested to know if you saw the return on Showtime. I love quirky characters in Twin Peaks. Has a boatload of them. That's absolutely true, no doubt about that. Thanks so much for being here, Geek Flag. Absolutely. That last call guy knows what he's talking about. Thanks so much for being here, Nate. And thanks for having me. Yeah. So next Tuesday, over on your channel, Deleted Scenes, are we picking this up? Season 2?
That's correct.
Okay. And we're going to be going every Tuesday over on Deleted Scenes, with a couple exceptions. Netter and I have other obligations, two other obligations in the next month. But you know what? Just subscribe to Deleted Scenes. Hit that notification bell if you want to follow along on this this journey. AG Boomer, keep that thumbnail for future.
I will, at least until it's no longer relevant.
Yeah. I know.
I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person.
No. He's a great character, and in real life and in the show, we lose characters, and every single one is tragic, and that's intentional. Let's face it, if you got a great heart, you're going to have a hard time, and that's not a bad thing. That's when you feel something, that's a good thing. That's part of the storytelling, right? So we didn't get too much into the character of Margaret Lanterman, the log lady, right? But we'll talk more about her as we go forward. She is, yeah, I think of her as a spiritual character, a spiritual guide in this whole thing. Played by Catherine Coulson. Netter and I got the absolute honor of meeting her the very last year of her life. We did not even know it at the time, but she had cancer. She
and didn't tell anyone.
She didn't tell anyone. It was a great time that we got to hang out with her in Snoqualmie, Washington. She filmed her scenes for The Return. And when you see her in The Return, I'm sorry, Stephen, this is a little tiny bit of a spoiler. You know, she's got the oxygen mask on. She's breathing from a tank. That was because that's what she had to do in real life. She was struggling with cancer at the time. She literally got her scenes filmed, and she died shortly thereafter. Such that when her scenes aired on The Return, that episode, dedicated to her. And what's really sad about The Return is that many episodes included people that were lost during the filming, and so those episodes are dedicated to them. These may be spoilers, Stephen, but I think they're good spoilers because as a fan, I think it helps to know about it in advance before. I'm only spoiling the behind the scenes stuff. I'm not ruining anything story wise. I think it's good to steel yourself against those things because you get, especially like Netter and I, who've met most of these people. It was really hard watching The Return. I mean that in a bittersweet kind of way. Obviously, we'll talk more about that when we get there. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope you guys will want to continue this journey with us. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, by all means, I'd love to hear about it in the chat. If you've never seen it before, what you thought, what your opinions are. This thing from the early 90s that was a big cultural phenomenon that you might have missed. Let me know what you think. Dee Dee Myers says, Troy, Washington State, a great place to live. Lived there for 7 to 8 years when we came back from San Antonio, Texas in the early 90s. Let me tell you, Washington State is just beautiful. Just some of the most beautiful land and mountains. And look, I'm the type that really enjoys, rainy days, so Washington, really great. Not sure it's a place I'd want to be now. There's some stuff going on, the Seattle area, some political stuff. I just don't want to get involved with that, but Nate, I'll fire walk with you, Troy. You know what? Come along on this journey because it's an interesting path. I think there's a lot to see. So yeah, Age of Boomer. I know you've seen this before, but yes. Opinions, gut instinct. Where are you at on this?
It's been a while, but like I said, I've been trying. I've been meaning to do a rewatch of this for a long time, and it's a great classic American series, and I think it's maybe a good escape for us right now in our not so great pop culture landscape at the moment. Maybe
there's one element about it that I would love to comment on. Yeah. It's subtly implied, but it's strongly underscored in the third season, so I don't want to say too much about it. Yeah. But there's an ephemeral quality to this show that I think really speaks to the heart. Also, those, you even mentioned, and I did too, a little bit about how shows like Lost and Fringe and so many other shows directly, if not inspired by, homaged this series. And we'll talk more about that going forward, but I do feel that Twin Peaks was way ahead of its time. Again, y'all have to keep in mind that Twin Peaks came out in a time when we did have home video. We had the ability to record what we saw on TV. And believe me, I recorded every episode of Twin Peaks and held on to those recordings until, the VHSs were released, the DVDs were released, and so forth. But for the most part, if you didn't have a VCR at the time, you saw it when it was released once, and then in the off season when it reran, which is when I saw it. And if you didn't see it, you were kind of lost, and there was no easy on point for you. It's not like today with the streaming services where you could binge the whole season and then get ready for season 2. So that's why I say this was a show way ahead of its time. It's great to get into now because we have, the DVDs and the, streaming services and so forth. But back then, there was no on point if you didn't already see it. And we were all talking about it, and it was on the radio, and everybody was saying, did you see the last episode? And da-da-da-da, and coffee and pie and all of this kind of stuff. And if you didn't see it, you were like, what the hell's going on? It was what we called at the time must-watch TV. You were lost if you didn't watch the last episode, so you watched every episode that you could. So JPRPH1 says, really enjoyed tonight. This was my 5th time through it and happy to be seeing it with all of you. Well, stick with us, JPRPH1. We'll watch the whole series. Lots and lots of fun. Dee Dee Meyer said, Troy, these journeys, we are about to go farther. It's going to be a wild run. I believe looking forward to our journey together. Dee Dee Meyer, thank you so much. Make sure that you're subscribed to Deleted Scenes. His link is in the description below. Hit that notification bell and join us every Tuesday. Well, if you can join us live every Tuesday, that would be great. If not, just watch for the stream to come up every Tuesday and add it to your watch later and catch up with us. Sparta Chris says, I remember seeing bits of Twin Peaks on Chiller TV. I didn't know it played on Chiller. That makes a lot of sense. My dad had DirecTV, also came across the Nightmare on Elm Street TV series and also the Friday the 13th TV series. Let me tell you something. We were just talking about that recently. Netter and I have the DVD of the entire series of Friday the 13th. Yeah, I had a huge crush in the 80s on Robay. She was wow. And I love the fact that the late 80s were the time of no bra. Let me just leave that at that. Yes, Agent Cooper inspired Agent Mulder. And help me out. Who was the actor who played Agent Mulder?
David Duchovny.
David Duchovny does have a Twin Peaks appearance later on. There are more connections between X-Files and Twin Peaks to come, so stick with us, Geek Flag.
Mm-hmm.
I think of other shows too were influenced by Twin Peaks, like Northern Exposure, Picket Fences. I mean, not so much with the mystery aspect and the but like with the quirky town characters. That was sort of like kind of spice there too.
And let's face it, we're going to talk more about it, how strange and weird and quirky Twin Peaks is. But if you really think about it, how strange is it? You think about yourself, think about the people you know. They're all quirky. Everybody's quirky in their own way, right? And this just tongue-in-cheeks it. So definitely worth it. So Stephen, did we do a good job of kicking this off? Did I cover everything you might have wanted to cover tonight?
I think we did. And good. I just want everybody to remember that this is a show that's become a cult classic for a reason. And if you are taking this journey for the first time, this may very well change how you look at television, what television can do. This was a show that changed television.
Yeah.
It changed the way that I look at television. Every show that comes on, even now, even though I mostly just watch the streaming services now for television.
Yeah.
I compare it to Twin Peaks in some way.
Twin Peaks
and
really was the cornerstone for a lot of things. Yep. Age of Boomer, this is not your first time, but thoughts?
Nothing. Just a strong pilot. I want to find out what happens next. This is a world I can escape.
Have you seen the entire original series?
Yes.
Okay,
Twice. Good. But it was when I was younger, to be fair. Much younger.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
You can't recite each line like I
no.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, I'm a big fan. And like I said, I meant to always watch it front to back. So this will be a good opportunity for me to do that. And nothing, just a big fan of the mystery. Granted, I know a little bit more about the mystery, or do we? Because like I said, there's more to it when we find out who the culprit is. But
I
don't know. It's I remember enjoying it. We haven't run into the one-armed gentleman yet, right? So
right. So the one-armed man. Think about that. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Think about other shows involving a one-armed man. Some allusions there. Yeah. We'll talk more about that as we go forward. So Laura Palmer, prom queen, Netter of Netter's Network. You've had to deal with this. I dragged you into Twin Peaks kicking and screaming 31 years ago. Did you enjoy the rewatch of the pilot?
Yeah, it's like, because I remember the mystery and I remember how things fell into place. And it's going to sound weird, but when you rewatch some things, you see things that you didn't see before.
Yeah.
Or, you notice these things. It's like, wait, I don't remember that bit. Or, oh, that makes so much more sense now because you didn't catch it the first time.
You know what? Evelyn makes a great point. The one-armed man was in the pilot tonight. He was on the lift, and he gets off in front of Dale and Sheriff Truman. It was a small role. It'll be bigger later on. Good point, Evelyn. That's a great observation. Yeah. So what we're looking at here is many different iterations of deleted scenes. Saw it literally from the inception. I caught it the following season or the mid season in the reruns. Netter got dragged into it by me. Like I said, kicking and screaming, and has seen it since then. Age of Boomer, you saw it later, not right from the inception.
When it aired, no. I think I was not quite the right age for it yet.
Yeah, you're a little younger than I am, so you caught on when it hit the.
See, the X-Files was more my thing. I caught that from the beginning, junior year of high school.
That's a great perspective, because what the X-Files was a projection of, or the result of, Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So if you saw that first and then you saw Twin Peaks, you're like, oh, I see where some of this came from.
I don't remember which I watched first. I think I still watched Twin Peaks after I'd seen the X-Files. Yeah, because I think that I didn't have access to the tapes on time. It was around, maybe it was around the same time. Now that I think about it,
yeah. So again, make sure you're subscribed to Deleted Scenes. We will resume on Tuesday with the next episode of Twin Peaks. Deleted Scenes. What do you got coming up this week? Well, wait a minute. I guess we should kind of take this in order. We'll start with tomorrow night over on Big Al's channel. We will be watching. What will we be watching? I'm a little fuzzy right now. This movie here, Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
it's a Hammer movie.
It's a Hammer film. It's I consider it to be part of the Karstein
Quartet.
yeah, it's really supposed to be a trilogy, but it's loosely connected.
You know what?
To the quartet.
I mean, we'll talk about this more next Friday, but you could probably drop Lust for a Vampire and just replace it with Captain Kronos because it's a better movie.
We'll talk
Lust
more
for a
about that
Vampire
next
is
week,
stupid.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I dig it. We'll get into that.
Hammer is collectively great, but not every Hammer movie is great. Okay, that's what I'll say.
No. You're absolutely right.
We'll talk about it more next week.
We'll talk about more next week. So tomorrow night, Captain Kronos on Big Al's channel. Sunday, that's 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Deleted Scenes. What are we doing on Sunday?
Well, first, if I could go into a couple of things that I'm going to be involved in tonight. I actually do have 2 more live streams coming up before
tonight after we end here.
After we end here.
But hold on to me. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. If I'd have known that, I would have front loaded with that.
No, that's okay. Jedi Bill is going to be joining me over on my channel, and we are going to review Exorcist Believer.
Oh, I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah,
we have both seen it, and we have some thoughts. Let's just say that. And also, when we are done with the review, we're going to go over to his channel, and we're going to do a watch party of a movie called Abandoned. It's a horror film. It was one of the 8 movies to die for, the Horror Fest series of films.
I remember those. Yeah. What was the name of the movie?
Abandoned.
Abandoned. Okay. I've seen Grave Dancers. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's going to be a first watch for me. The fellow who played the evil lawyer in Blade 2 stars in it. Carl Rodan.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And all right, moving on to Sunday, right? Will be my show Unscripted at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. I'm sorry. Now I'm getting it backwards. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
There you go.
And episode 36, The Answer to Everything is 18. Is the name of the episode. And
18. I got it. Yeah.
It was a title that was inspired by a friend and fellow YouTuber, a little incident that happened to her on Twitter. And basically the show is going to be about how these small little arguments tend to blow up into blockchains and people being doxxed.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. Good hour-long conversation. But you only get an hour.
Right.
Because at the end of that, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, what's going on, AG Boomer?
Then we have Geeky Geezers, and we'll be talking about the latest in geek news. Yay. Like DC artists going nuts on people on Twitter.
Fuck that.
And we'll be talking about that. Also, the return of the Nintendo 64. What?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on Sunday. Okay.
Awesome. And Lady Mist again, I just want to thank you so much. You are a rock star. Geeky Geezers isn't up yet because I haven't gotten those notes to
It's fine.
Age of Boomer yet, but that usually comes up Sunday morning.
Yeah,
but,
you'll see it.
Just make sure you're subscribed to Age of Boomer.
Subscribe to Age of Boomer's channel. That's me.
There you go. But then after Geeky Geezers, we're going to go back to deleted scenes for...
Mm-hmm. And that will be The Other Side of Midnight, 12:05 a.m. Eastern, 11:05 p.m. Central. And right now there are no scheduled guests, but I'm going to be sending out the StreamYard link, and I think there are going to be people on the panel here who might be getting that link.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
That Other Side of Midnight, he starts out with that music. That music that comes from the StreamYard. Oh, it's just very... Look, if you like that jazz, you like the Angelo Badalamenti Twin Peaks type of music.
All that jazz.
It's a great way to end your weekend. Just come hang out with us over on Deleted Scenes, The Other Side of Midnight. Kind of wind down. We'll talk about... It doesn't matter what we talk about. We'll just hang out, end the weekend together. You just feel like wrapping yourself up in a blanket and going to sleep on Sunday night because Monday you got to go back to work. And speaking of the going back into the week, Age of Boomer, do we have any Birdman sightings this week?
No, but he will be not on his channel, but he will be on Big Al's channel with deleted scenes this Friday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Next week from today.
Right.
Go ahead.
Next Friday at 7:30, and Films with Friends, and we are going to be watching The Witch, starring Anya Taylor-Joy.
Bitch, as Al calls it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm really bad.
Thou live deliciously.
No guarantees that I'll be able to make it there, but I will try because that's going to lead into my stream. But let's back up a second.
Mm-hmm. There's a scene. I was watching The Witch and there's Anya Taylor-Joy, I guess, walking disrobed in the woods, and I was yelling at the cameraman, "Lower the camera, please." That's what
more.
I'm sorry, I was saying. I have no shame. Okay.
No, I don't blame you. You're a single guy. I get it. Look, I'm a married guy.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Let's back up to Thursday. Thursday.
Oh, you remember me.
Yes, Netter of Netter's Network. What's happening on Thursday?
Thursday night, I will be having zombie box reviews right here on Thursday Things.
Zombie box reviews. Zombies. You'll find out more about his channel, more about what he covers, and I'm twisting my camera. Let me fix that. Find out about his channel. Make sure you're subscribed to him. And get to know him. It'll be a great time. So that's Thursday, 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netter's Network. That's her channel. Her link is, of course, down below. And that brings us to Friday with the rewatch that these guys just talked about, which brings us back to this channel. So next week, right here, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, you guys all know because you were here for tonight. But next week, we will be talking about lesbian vampires.
Yes.
Or archetype.
Sorry.
And
lesbian vampires.
Well, right. And as I said before, I'll start out real scholarly and talk about literature and...
I thought for sure you were going to say hero or villain.
No. We'll start out with, a good, scholarly analysis, right? And we'll pick it apart and whatnot. And I swear the more I drink, the more we'll just be talking about boobs. Lesbian vampires. It'll be fun. You wanna come hang out with us. No, it's not a rewatch. No, there won't be any visual aids, but something to think about. Lesbian vampires. That's next week. And that's all I got. You got anything coming up that I didn't mention, deleted scenes that you want to share and talk about?
There are actually a few really quick things.
Sure,
Number
sure.
one, as Lady Mist does remind me, I do have a live stream on Monday,
There you
and
go.
I will be at the Regal for a mystery movie night.
Wow.
So whatever movie it is, I'm going to go see it. And at 9 p.m. Approximately on the East Coast, 8 p.m. Central, I will be reviewing it.
Cool.
Also, and if it is okay for me to share screen for a moment.
Yeah. Let me bring it up here. What's this?
With luck, it seems I have achieved a milestone. I have hit 250 subs.
Congratulations.
Boom, 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 boom. Congratulations, my friend.
So hopefully it will stick. It was up to 251 earlier this afternoon, but but I was hoping to hit 250 by the end of the show tonight, and it seems I have achieved it. So
guys, I'm going to tell you, those of you, however many, 9 of you that are still here, I'm sure every one of you is already subscribed to Deleted Scenes. If you're not, double check, make sure. But then share out his stream on your socials and just say, hey, this is a great channel. This guy does a lot of hard work for a lot of other channels. Maybe you subscribe to him. Get the word out. Let's make sure that 270 at least, or 200, what is it? 250. At least 250 sticks, right? And we'll see how far we can get him, okay? Yeah. I'd appreciate it.
Right. And I also have some good news on the home front.
Yeah, tell us.
My brother and his bride-to-be, there's now 3 of them.
Oh, congratulations. Yes. You're an uncle.
I am an uncle.
There you go.
Baby girl, 8 pounds, 2 ounces.
Congratulations.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Good. Congratulations. And congratulations to your brother and sister-in-law. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's good. Awesome. Yeah. So, Age of Boomer, you got anything you want to share, talk about in the coming week?
No. I did want to warn you, though, Tuesday night is going to be my late night at the library, so I'll probably be just getting on before you start the stream. Deleted Scenes, 8:30, correct? 8:30? So, yeah, but I'll be there on time. Just want to let you know I might be right up to the minute, okay?
We will, I'll make sure that Deleted Scenes keeps an eye on the green room so that you jump in.
Sure. Yeah, if you start, I'll be there probably maybe 8:30 or a little bit before, but it's probably going to be right at the
That's
minute.
Okay. That's fair. And Laura, don't go there. Hurting me. Netter, anything you want to share about the coming week?
Well, I do want to remind everyone that Island in the Stars, although they did hit their initial goal of 66,000, they are still trying to reach the first stretch goal, and I believe that's 250,000. So the campaign is not over. Anything that you could put towards a campaign helps. I mean, the first 2 tiers are only $4 and $9. If you can buy a cup of Starbucks, you can buy one of these tiers. Every little bit helps out. We want to make sure this awesome movie gets made.
There you go. There's the link. This movie is happening. So if you want a producer credit, go ahead and check out that link. Contribute what you can, and let's make this movie the best it can be. Let's send a loud, clear message to the entertainment industry and say, this is what we want. And we're ready to put our money where our mouth is. We will pay for the ticket. We will buy the DVD before it's even made. Because you guys aren't doing it. We're supporting independent film creators.
Yes.
At least click on that link, watch the promo video, see what it's all about, and see if you're not inspired to contribute. That is, if you haven't already.
The other thing I want to mention is make sure you are subscribed to everyone in the chat and everyone on the panel. And if you think you're subscribed to everyone in the chat and everyone in the panel, go back and make sure you are still subscribed, because YouTube. And we want to make sure that, or I should say, you want to make sure that you're not missing any vids when they're dropped and when we go live.
Yep. And everybody, just again, those links are all below. Everyone on the panel, everybody who's a Blue Wrench is linked below too. Make sure you're following them, because they're awesome people. I don't pay these people, and for as much effort as they put in, it's actually a crime. So the best I could do is get you to subscribe to them and follow them on all the streams that they contribute to. And hey, if you think my streams are just a little bit better when I get a little silly and I'm a little fuzzy, go ahead and buy me a drink. That link is, of course, below. I've already had my drink for next week purchased, and I'll tell you about that next week. It's going to be a lot of fun when we talk about lesbian vampires. It ought to be a spank inferno.
But
yeah.
Do you want me to take us out, dear?
Yes, please do, Maître.
Well, y'all know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, whatever it may be. Because it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're sitting all in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you aren't just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now, and you are here with us. And that is so encouraging. I mean, you're totally sharing the love with us, and we really do appreciate that. So thank you for being here, and we will definitely see you next time.
I'll tell you, she ain't wrong. You guys do the likes and the shares and the subscribing and all that stuff. But on a week-to-week basis, seeing you guys here, chatting with y'all, you guys make this happen. It really is kind of like Big Al says. It's kind of like hanging out with some friends. That's what Last Call was always meant to be. Sitting down at the pub with a bunch of your friends, having a drink, chatting, watching a movie together, going on a rant, whatever it is. You guys are what honestly, I'll tell you, you guys are what I look forward to all week. So thank you, everybody. Hope to see you on the next one. Take care. Love you all.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.